Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to teach you how to get less input delay and the minimum input delay possible in this game. And if you guys don't know what that means, if you're just, maybe just new to FPS or you're on console and you don't know too much of how to get faster input delay, pretty much what that is just the reaction speed or how fast you can look left and right and be able to shoot at a person, which is extremely beneficial because if I can react faster than you, I'm going to be the better player. If I am the same skill level as you, except I can move faster than you and you can't move as fast as me, I'm going to win majority of the time. So getting less input delay is extremely important. A lot of it is things you have to pay for, like getting a monitor, getting a better controller that has faster input delays and stuff like that. That just is what it is. But there's a lot of ways that you can reduce the input to be able to kill people very fast in this game. So we are going to start off mainly with the equipment that you need to have. So I have a 240 hertz monitor. I still think that console can only go up to 120 hertz. So getting around to 120 or 144 hertz is best for console players, but PC can pretty much go wherever. So I have 240 hertz, even though I only get probably get like 120, 130 FPS around. I'm not entirely sure what I get, but just having at least like a 120, 144 hertz for console or PC is really going to help you have a lot of reaction speed in this game. So even if I just search up, I don't know, like 144 hertz monitors, you could just find them pretty much here. This one's 165 hertz, so around there. It just shows also you want to have like, what is it, 1 millisecond response time, and I think some things have like 0.5 millisecond response times. Apparently that's a thing too, but as long as you have like 1 millisecond and under, that is the key monitor that you do want to buy in order to reduce the input delay in this game. And on top of that, your controller does matter a lot. So if you're playing on an old gen controller versus a new gen, because I have a PS5 SCUF controller right here, this does make you react a lot faster in the game because it has been proven to have less input delay than other ones. And from my personal experience, people have argued this many times, but every single time I use wired, so I have this plugged in to my computer, it has a faster response time for me. So when I have it plugged in there, it's just like a direct input straight into the computer. And if you're playing on console, if you play wired on console, it will be a direct input straight into the console, and you're going to be able to move a lot faster and react a lot faster in the game. Overclocking is also very important for reducing input delay. There's a few ways to do that. Right now, I did mention that I have DS4. Again, I have to use DS4 because if I do not use DS4 for this game, it doesn't register my controller as working. So I just decided to use DS4 again, and I don't know any other fix that this can have. So on my DS4, where's my settings? Edit. If you go to other right here and go down, you can see that it forces it to be 1 millisecond, which is the fastest that your controller can react to. And I think I'll have a link in the description below of another way you can overclock your controller if you don't need DS4. You can just use it some other way. You could be able to overclock it without having to use DS4, then go over to here and press 1 millisecond. But overclocking your controller does help a lot. I know some people who didn't overclock their controller at all. I've helped them overclocked it, and they seem to have like an intense transformation right after, like, oh my gosh, I'm able to kill people so much faster, and it's so much easier for me to shoot and control recoil and all that stuff. So reducing the input delay really helps you reduce that recoil because you're able to counter the gun's movement like simultaneously. So another reason too, if you see me getting a lot of kills and maybe my recoil control is so much better than yours, that could mean that my input delay and setup is a lot better than your setup. It doesn't mean that I am mentally just more equipped at aiming better than you and having faster reaction time. It could mean that your system or equipment is actually outdated and not as good. So that is why that's the main thing that I use that works a lot. As far as settings, I think that you do have faster reaction speed when you are on a higher FOV. I don't know if this is just placebo, it makes it feel that way, but I have mentioned in my other video where if you are using a lower FOV, let's just throw it to, I don't know, 89, it feels a lot slower and you don't have like the freedom of movement to look left and right. So it just feels a lot slower. I don't know if it is a lot slower, but every single time I'm using 120 FOV, I know 100% the movement is a lot more reactive and you can move better, but as far as the aiming and shooting at somebody with the aim assist and stuff like that, I am not entirely sure if the input delay has anything to do with the FOV. But if you want to be safe, I would say play the higher FOV that you think you can handle, and that would help you get a lot faster reactions in this game. Another thing that does reduce the input delay is playing on linear. So if I go to the response curve linear, this is a direct raw input from you as the player into your controller to the game. So I understand you guys, a lot of you guys like to play dynamic, maybe even try standard, I don't know, and you could argue which one's better, however you feel that they have their benefits and stuff like that, but it is proven that linear is the fastest because it has a direct input in the game. The only disadvantage, or the thing people try to argue, is that dynamic feels like you get better aim assist, and you're able to aim and lock on to people better, whereas linear you might feel like you lose a lot of aim assist and stuff like that. But linear is proven to be faster. So if you do want to train on linear, maybe you're just not good with it and you want to train on it just because you want to get the fastest input possible, linear is going to be the fastest response curve that is going to get you to look around super fast. So that does reduce input delay by a little bit, but it does depend on if you are comfortable playing with it and if you want to play with it or not. Dead zones, okay, this is really important. Mine is just 0.15 from default. I might change this, but the lower dead zone that you do have, the less input delay you do have. So if I'm playing on, I don't know, let's just say 0.05. I'm playing on 0.05 minimum dead zone. So I do that right here. I'm able to look so much faster, because the dead zone, how it works is pretty much, it says what is the lowest you can move the stick so that it registers. So if you can move your stick lower and it reacts faster, you're going to be able to reduce the time it takes for your controller to move. So now if we go to that same setting and let's do, what's it called, like let's just exaggerate it just so I can show you guys. So 0.5, now I'm moving this a little bit and it's not even registering that I'm looking at all, because that's how dead zone works. And people mainly use this to counter stick drift. That's what it's used for. But it counters stick drift because stick drift starts moving your controller like a tiny bit. It starts moving the analog stick. And what you want to do is increase the dead zone so that it doesn't register that the controller is moving. Well, if you have a really good controller and it barely has any stick drift, then you can use that concept to get less input delay, because you're going to be able to move your stick a lot faster. So if you do have a really good controller, you do want to put the dead zone a lot lower than you usually have it, just so that you can be able to get faster reaction speed in this game. I am still going to mess with that. I'm not sure entirely what I have my dead zones on to just be at my best, but so far playing on 0.15, I haven't had any horrible games that like I think it matters. So I am going to play around with that with a little bit, but you do want to be on the lower side of the dead zone instead of on the higher side on the dead zone. That's really going to give you a lot less input delay in this game. And yeah, I think that's it with this video. Some people think that like having a higher sensitivity does give you faster reaction time. Personally, I think that the reaction time is irrelevant, being that there's some things that you physically can't do as a human. For example, if you're playing 2020 and you're trying to hit every single headshot on a person, I think it's nearly impossible to do. So yeah, it could give you like less input delay to play higher sense, but it's also not like you can't comprehend every single thing that's going on. So that's a little bit tricky, and I don't really want to go over that too much. I might go over the sensitivities in a different video. But as far as getting less input delay in this game, those are the top things that I would recommend to be able to be faster in this game and to be able to fight a lot of people and just be at the same level as them. Everybody's going to have an advantage over you. Everybody's going to take steps to become better than you. So this is one of the things that you can kind of level that playing field, or just get the advantage over somebody else who's not looking into how to get better, and they're just playing the game right now while you're getting better, and you're going to be able to beat them over and over and over because you have less input delay than that person. Under any video or live stream I should have my link tree available so you guys could be able to check out all the other socials that I have right here, and then also my coaching services that I offer. And if you join the Discord below, you can be a part of our amazing community and where we try to help others get better each and every day. And then there's just other people that you can go connect with and play with other great players if you are having trouble finding players on your own. So this is our Sense Community Discord, the main thing that I am most active on, and all my other socials are listed in this link tree.